In this video I'm going to show you how to do a basic cross stitch. It's one of the most common stitches and it's really simple to learn. So I'm going to show you what you need to get started and then I'm going to show you how to do it. So to show you how to do a cross stitch, you're not going to need much really. Just a material that you're willing to stitch on, or something that you can practice on first before you go ahead and do it on the actual material that you want to cross stitch onto. A piece of thread or string that you want to stitch it with, and of course a needle that you need to thread it with, and that's going to obviously stitch the whole thing. So once you've got those together, I'll show you what to do next. So once you've got all of your equipment ready, next thing you want to do is make a knot into the end of your thread. Try to do it as close to the edge of the thread as possible so you don't waste any. And just make one knot. Depending on the material that you're using, you might need to make 2 or 3, and also depending on the thread or string that you're using. This is quite thick, so one will probably be enough because of this material. It's quite thick as well. If you've got sort of a thin one or a holy one, you might want to do quite a few more so that it's bigger and it's not as likely to pull through the material. So I always do 2 anyway, just to ensure that it doesn't go through the material. So once you've got that knot, you want to thread your needle. Now some people have trouble threading their needle. If you can, try and find the biggest hole for a needle that you can. This one is quite big, as you can see, which I need because I've got quite a big thread. So obviously if you can't get it through like that, the best thing to do is wet it. Just stick it in your mouth and then point it with your finger like this. Get it as pointy as possible, and then it should just go through easily like that. So once you've threaded your needle, I'll show you what to do next. So once you've threaded your needle, I'm just going to show you how to do the stitch, and it's really easy like I said. So you might want to practice on a piece of rough or scrap material just to make sure that you know. It can be hard sometimes if you've never done it before. So the first thing you want to do is just poke your needle through the material, like so. Pull it through to the end, and then hopefully that knot shouldn't come out if you've tied a big enough knot into it. And then you just want to make a diagonal line here. I'll do quite a large one to demonstrate. So I've done one about 1 centimetre diagonally like that. Poke it through and just pull it through again. And then the next thing you want to do is, with your needle, if you can poke it, you can see this little mark where the needle is going to come through. Because obviously you don't want to poke it through and it be in the wrong place and then you have a hole in your material from your needle. So just try and measure that mark up with the corner here, so down here and down here, so that it lines up into a little triangle. If you can imagine a little triangle there, and you're just poking the needle through the corner of the triangle. Poke it through like that and pull it through again. And then just do the same. Obviously you can see where you're putting the needle this time, so just imagine that triangle again and put it through there. Try to get it as straight as possible and it will look a lot better once you've finished. So that's your first cross, and then once you've done that, you know how to do the rest pretty much. You just, again, put the needle onto the back of the fabric like that. I usually start this side. You can start this side, but as you've just put the thread through this way and it's gone over like that, if you accidentally go put the needle too close into this hole here, it can sometimes pull the thread back out. So it's always best to start on the other side that you haven't just threaded, if that makes sense. So on the back here, it's over here and not over here. So once you've done that, just poke it through the fabric again like that, and just follow the same steps that I've already shown you. So obviously you're going the other way this time. Just make sure that it's in line with this cross here, about the same length, so about 1 centimetre there. And then you just do the same for this side, so the bottom left up to the top right. Poke it through again up there, measure it up, and put it through. And then that is how you do a cross stitch. And obviously you can do it as big as you want, you can do it as small as you want. I quite like small cross stitches. It looks quite neat, and it's obviously very time consuming, but it can be very it can give good results if you put the time and effort in. So Obviously once you've done that you obviously want to do more than 2 crosses, but just take your needle off of the thread and make another knot. Now some people struggle sometimes to get the knot as close to the fabric as possible, so you obviously want it as close to the fabric as possible so that it doesn't fall apart. And the best thing to do while you're doing this is just get your needle and put it to the end where the thread is coming through the fabric and just pull the end like this, and it should hopefully tie it right to the bottom of the fabric there. So if you can see there's only a slight bit of thread coming through there, so it's not likely to come undone this way, so you can put another knot there if you like. And then once you've done that, that is it, and you have just learnt how to cross stitch. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.